What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well. And yeah, let's get straight into things. So yesterday I didn't bother make a video purely because everything that I stated in my weekly review that I made on Sunday pretty much remains the same. You can see I was just slowly trickling our way down throughout this week. I don't expect much movement until Thursday and Friday realistically. But we did have high impact news today that did cause a little bit of movement, and I did manage to get in on 2 executions on GBP, so you can definitely go and check those videos out. But yeah, here's Tuesday's trading, and again I still have my eyes set on this implied fair value gap from the weekly. So let me just go back to the weekly just to show you. This is an implied fair value gap, and I was saying how I wouldn't be surprised if price wanted to trade into here before we saw some kind of reaction. Now, don't get me wrong, I did also state that this breaker could get traded to, however that has not happened yet, and we are just pretty much staying in this very consolidated behavior. I'm still waiting for significant, movement in one direction. But here's the 4 hour. You can see we traded lower, taking out stops here and here, but I do believe these lows are likely going to get taken moving into the Wednesday. So when price creates big dips like this, and you can see like it's creating relative equal lows, so I do believe it's creating the illusion of support for retail. So I wouldn't be surprised if moving into the new day on Wednesday we saw some more lower pricing as we move towards this implied fair value gap and that monthly bullish order block open. Let me just show you that monthly order block as well, in case you haven't seen Sunday's video, which I highly suggest you go and watch. So here is again implied fair value gap on the monthly, and you can see the open of that. So that's going down here. Basically is what I'm saying is there's going to be very sensitive price action, especially below this low. So I am looking for this low to potentially get traded to. Let's go to the 1 hour, and you'll see I have the daily dividers. So Monday, as I anticipated, very quiet, classic back and forth price action. And then Tuesday we had a nice expansion at that 10 a.m. news, running below Monday's low, and then we just retraced off of that now. So as I was saying, moving into Wednesday, we can start looking at this swing low as a target for sell side liquidity. And the reason I'm expecting continued downside movement is because I do think we're still in the Judas swing part of the week. And what I mean by that is that we're still in the manipulation phase, as in I'm expecting downwards movement before we see some kind of reversal, which we might witness on Wednesday or Thursday. So overall, again, Wednesday I would like to see Tuesday's low get taken, and I'd like to think that we can start to move towards this sell side liquidity from this low, so that we can trade into that weekly implied fair value gap that I just showed you guys. After that, then I'll start considering looking for higher prices. You can see relative equal highs starting to form above here. The fact that Tuesday fails to take out this high from Monday again says a lot. We're likely, it's likely leaving these highs untouched because we're going to come and grab it later. So that's something to anticipate. And again, we've got a fair value gap up here that price may want to return to, but overall I don't expect us to trade back up here until we see another set of sell side liquidity get taken. So what I am going to do is I'm going to move this sell side liquidity right across, just so that you can see we have relative equal lows here and here that have now formed. So there's going to be a lot of sell stops below here. Smart money is going to want to accumulate those sell stops to buy into, for us to then trade higher and release them in imbalances and above swing highs, assuming we do want to trade higher on dollar. Now don't get me wrong, these environments are not the best, but we do have non-farm payroll, which usually does a lot in the markets. So I'll be looking forward to seeing how that happens. But yeah, really not much to anticipate. Let me just get my Wednesday delineated like so. And I'm just going to keep my eye on this low. I want to see how price acts after we trade below this. Do we have a nice reaction off of this fair value gap? And if so, we can start looking and thinking about setups on Thursday and Friday for longs into the buy side liquidity that is forming above here. And again, this imbalance right here. So I hope that all makes sense. Again, another thing to take note of, I want to go into a little bit more detail. You can see our price broke lower, and then from about 11 o'clock, which retraced higher, completely filling in this fair value gap. So when we see this, we can call this a balanced price range. So from this low to this high, we can drag that out, and you can see we've nearly completely filled that in. The fact that we've done this, price is likely going to leave this. So moving to the new day, we can watch how price treats this box. And if we trade lower, we can expect to find resistance for us to push lower, of course, for us to then grab those sell stops After that, if we do return back to this, you know, we need to watch how does price trade through it. Do we find support, and does it want to use it to springboard higher? So that is something to take note of for sure. But right now, I can see that price is just trying to fill this, well, it pretty much has filled this price range in. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw continued consolidation before leaving it, and then again trading through it on the upside. So I'll definitely keep an eye on this and be referring to this in later videos this week. You guys might want to have this drawn out as well, so I'm just going to drag that out into the new day, and I'm also going to mark out the midpoint, because you can see how price, again, look at how price is treating that midpoint, you know. So you can use it to kind of stage how the delivery is going to be, assuming we are going to dig deeper on the Wednesday. So that's my expectations on dollar. Let's now go on to GBP USD. So GBP is what I was trading today. What's nice to see on GBP is the fact that in the weekly review, again, I suggest you go and watch it if you haven't. I did mark out the 50% level of this wick, and I was stating that price will likely want to, you know, refer to that. And you can see that today on Tuesday, price traded up into that. So let's just go down to Tuesday on the daily, and you can see our price traded right up to that consequent encroachment off that weekly wick I was just showing you, and that's also where I let off most of my positions. So moving into the new day, again, if we're expecting higher, lower dollar, we should anticipate some kind of higher movement on GBP. Now on the daily, you can see there is a rejection block level right here, so price may want to touch into that, and then also we have this longer wick as well, where, you know, the 50% level of that can be considered, but that can very easily and very well may get bypassed. So I'm going to get these levels marked out so that we can see them on the lower time frame, and then let's go to the 4 hour. Now these purple lines are delineating the Asian range from Monday, and on the lower time frame it'll be a lot more clear. But again, there's that 50% level I was talking about from the daily, and you'll see that that rejection block level from the daily also lines up with this bearish order block. So again, moving into the new day, price very may well want to continue higher. Definitely going to watch how we treat this level. If we find support, price will likely want to push, take out Tuesday's high, and then I'd like to think that we can turn around at this bearish order block up here. Let's go down to the 1 hour, and you'll see I've got the days delineated. Again, here's that Asian range. We came lower, and this is what I traded on PMI, right up hitting the consequent encroachment, and then we just came off of it now. So again, just like dollar but inverted, I think that we'd continue to consolidate, and then move into the new day, more higher prices, running out Tuesday's high before we see some kind of reversal. Again, the highest I'd like to see price, I'd like to think that price can turn around over here. This is the bearish order block for this huge move down here, so it should be highly sensitive, and this is a consolidation. It's very classic for price to return to a consolidation, and you could even argue that we have a breaker here. We have a high, we have a low, we have a high, and then price is distributed to the downside. So if we drag out this down close candle right the way through, right into where we are now, crazy. I'm going to make it blue, and I'm going to take out the midpoint. We can watch how price trades into that in the new day, assuming it does, and anticipate some kind of reversal. If it trades through it, so be it, and we can start looking for these highs with a potential reach up to the monthly relative equal highs. But preferably, I'd like to think that once we reach this level, we'll see some kind of reversal behavior. The reason I have this Asian range marked out is because it should continue to provide support. We've traded on the downside and then on the upside, so it acts as like a buffer zone. So even though this Asian range is from Monday, moving into the Wednesday, we can still have this Asian range and look at it to provide us the support it needs for price. So as we dip into it, you know, we have order blocks here, we have mitigation blocks here, this swing high, for example, where we should find continued support to push higher. Let's go down to the 15-minute. Let's get rid of that. And again, you'll see how price has found support. This is where I entered my position, found support on the Asian range before trading higher during PMI. Retrace. What is this? Balanced price range, guys. It's because we've completely filled it in now. So we can expect price to want to leave that price range, create some kind of sweep, and then see what happens. So yeah, not really too much, but definitely keep an eye on this level. Remember, that dash level is the midpoint of Tuesday's wick, sorry. So I've got the midpoint of Tuesday's wick marked out. So moving into Wednesday, when price trades around this, it's likely we'll either find support on it to trade higher, or we'll find resistance, but preferably support, assuming we are going to run into Tuesday's high and into that breaker I was just showing you guys. So that's my expectations on pound. continued higher prices before we see the reversal of the week, again running into the Thursday, Friday high impact news. Let's go on to Euro USD just to finish off. We'll go and start on the weekly again. Now I didn't really pay attention to Euro today, to be honest, but again, we haven't even created a low on Euro yet. You can see we're kind of just pushing higher. I brought our attention to these weekly implied fair value gaps on Sunday's video, guys. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. But again, price may want to reach into that. There's some buy side liquidity above these highs here and here. If we drop down to the daily, it'll become a lot more clear. So we've got relative highs above here and here. I do believe Wednesday, again, if I'm expecting lower dollar, we should anticipate a continued push on Euro to run into that implied fair value gap. Now, if we go to the 4 hour, Euro hasn't been the cleanest either. You can see we expanded higher, ran out these stops, but again, bullish PDA rates are continuing to be respected. And what I mean by that is we have a bullish order block right here, and you can see how we've wicked down into it on a 4 hour basis. So long as this continues to provide support, as in moving into the Wednesday, I'm happy to remain bullish with an expectation to run for Thursday's high from last week and potentially into that buy side liquidity. Now, all of this is very messy, which is why I don't really want to get too involved. You can see a fair value gap here. This should act as an implied inversion fair value gap, downside, upside, downside delivery. So we anticipate resistance. So yeah, moving in onto the Wednesday, if this makes sense. You can see I got my daily dividers. There's that order block I was talking about. I'd like to think we can see continued support for higher prices running out Tuesday's high into the buy side liquidity, and then we get some kind of resistance. Here is Euro. We have high impact news at 2 a.m. tomorrow, which is the start of the London session. Again, something to consider. But yeah, preferably I wouldn't want to see any lows get taken out. I just want to see continued support, really, because you can see our price is just pushing higher. And remember, this is the start of the week, so the price is going to push in the opposite direction to what we expect it to expand in, especially with something like non-farm payroll closely edging in. So again, what do we have? We have a balanced price range from here right up to here during PMI, took out these highs, filled in the balanced price range, and we've had a nice little break in market structure, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a continuation to the upside. Moving into 2 a.m, we might see a nice little setup for Euro. Last time I tried to trade high impact Euro news, it didn't go so well. I mean, I got in, but it wasn't as clean as I wanted. But I'll be up for the London session to see what we can see. If a setup forms, then we can go long, expecting again Tuesday's high to get taken with a potential reach for the buy side liquidity. But we also do have high impact news at 10 a.m. again as well. So tomorrow should be quite interesting. I think tomorrow we'll see a lot more price action, and guys, don't stress too much, because these conditions are very ugly. I haven't seen it like this since like December. This is probably worse than December was for me, but yeah, it's just a waiting game. What am I waiting for? I'm waiting for clear expansion. Yes, we had this, but the way that we're retracing and filling in, rebalancing certain price ranges, it's not as clean as I want it to be. So I just want to see, can we continue to find support up into the buy side before I start thinking about any kind of shorts or reversals. So that's going to be everything for me. I hope that all made sense. Again, just watch the balanced price range, see how price treats them. Anticipate sell stops to be getting taken, because right now price is pushing lower. We have this monthly bullish order block open plus an implied fair value gap down here on dollar. So that's where I'd want to see the turnaround for the week happen. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be everything, guys. Hope you found this insightful. Don't forget to drop a comment, smash subscribe, and also join the Discord. Peace.